In this episode, I want to introduce my new workstation 4090 and show you the workstation from the inside and the outside, and start it as a satellite node in my VAX cluster. Hello Jos, welcome back to another episode, and this episode is about a VAX workstation. 1.5 years ago I showed you this machine here on the left. This is a workstation 4000 VLC, and this is a quite slow workstation, but I've got a new workstation. This one here, this is my new machine. This is a workstation 4090. And a workstation is a graphical VAX, so you can attach a keyboard and a mouse and a display to it. And this new workstation 4090 is much more powerful. It was released on the 7th July of 1992, and its name is Cougar. And it belongs to a whole series of workstations. So there were a previous machine called workstation 4060 and two successors, a workstation 4090A and a workstation 4096. And you can upgrade all the machines to the next higher one. So you can upgrade the 60 to a 90, the 90 to a 90A, and to a 96, and so on. So they use all the same chassis, and you have to replace some parts for the upgrade. This machine is also my first NVAX machine. NVAX was the last generation of VAX processors, and it should be faster than all my other VAXs together. It's not as fast as Dave W. Plummer's VAX 4705A, but it's quite fast VAX. And how fast, this is a bit unclear, because you measure VAXs typically in VUP, VAX unit of performance, and one VUP is the performance of the original VAX 11780, and it's about 1 million instructions per second, so it could be equivalent to MIPS, so 1 million instructions per second. But yeah, it's a bit unclear, but you can say this machine could be something between 25 and 32.8 VUP. The workstation VLC over there has only 6 VUP, so in contrast to that, and I think this was the workstation 4000 VLC was released in 1991, so 1.5 years before that workstation was released. But I will talk about the processor later in a bit more in detail. Yeah, this is the chassis. The chassis is completely made of plastic, so earlier systems are made of metal, but this is completely made of plastic. And in front, there is one major difference. The power button now is on the front. Previous machines have the power button on the left or on the back. And here is the power LED, and here digital and workstation 4090. And behind this cover, you can there can be tapes or CD-ROM drives, but there's nothing behind it. And here there is a small hatch. In the right corner, you can connect a modem. Then this machine has an internal speaker, we'll see it later, and you can switch between the modem and the internal speaker, so there's a sound module in it. This is the hold button. This is the switch to switch between the graphical mode and the terminal mode, so you can also connect a terminal to it. And here are 8 LEDs, which shows the status or indicates some errors if there is any error. Yeah, let's turn it around. Here on the top, here you can open the machine. With these two plastic things. We will see the inside later. Let's see how long that will last. I think someday these plastic notches will break. Yes, definitely they will break because everything's plastic. Yeah, and then let's have a look on the back. Here is a SCSI connector with a terminator. This is the graphics card, and the graphics card is you can replace it. It's interesting. There were different options for graphics. here are the power connector network, also 10 base 2 and 10 base 5, and you can switch between 10 base 2 and 10 base 5 with that switch. And you can see the AUI connector there is, this metal part is missing. So I think this machine was stored with high humidity, and therefore, the screws were very hard to loosen, and also the metal part was a bit bended, so I removed it. Maybe I need a new metal part for the AUI connector, because normally I use the AUI connector with an MAU. Then here, this is a serial port for a printer. This is the console port, and here this is a keyboard, mouse, and this strange connector is called remote keyboard mouse. I really don't know what you can connect to that connector over here. And the graphic connector is the same graphics connector like on the VAXstation 4000 VLC. So you can see here these 3 pins. These are red, green, and blue. And this is like a lot of workstations of this era, a sync on green graphic output. You need a monitor which is capable of sync on green. And you can see also the connector was a bit bended. So I think when the machine went out of business, they removed some connectors with a bit of violence, and therefore some parts are not in the best condition. Also here with the AUI port, I think it was the same thing. They removed the MAU while pulling it, and then they bended the metal part. Therefore, these 2 connectors are not in the best shape, but it's possible to connect the display to it. So then let's have a look inside. Now we see the machine from the top, and as I said before, here on that side there are just 2 plastic notches, and you can just open the machine while with these notches, and then should open. Now the cover is removed. What we have here, it's really modular designs. You can remove a lot of parts without any tools. And this is here the power supply, and you can remove the power supply just by removing this plastic part, so this metal thing here, and then you can, and I will have a look at the power supply later, just it's a big part, but you can just, that's harder than I told you. But normally it's not. You have just before you have to remove the power supply, you have to remove this part here. This is the bay for the hard drive, but there was a hard drive inside before, but the hard drive was broken. I've got this machine together with MicroVAX 3100, and my first plan was to show you the MicroVAX 3100 in the next episode, but the MicroVAX 3100 has some issues. The hard drives were also broken in the MicroVAX 3100, so this is something for later. But when you have removed the drive bay, and you can remove the power supply easily, and there is just a connector here down on that board. Here, this is the space for the tape drive or CD drive, if you have one. I think you can remove it the same way. Just this is the power, and interestingly, you see the power for the tape drive or CD drive comes from the main board. So there's only one connector from the power supply board, and the 12 volt and 5 volt connector is on the main board, and then it can go to the tape drive or the CD drive. So what we see here on the board, this is the memory, and this is maximum is 128 megabyte, and on that board are 120 megabyte installed. So this is the maximum capacity which is possible is installed. Here this is a SCSI connector. It goes to that SCSI cable just for the internal drives. It's a WIR one, and then it ends on terminator on the external connector. Here, under the SCSI connector, is a second connector, so you can install a board here for synchronous communications for more serial ports. But I do not have that board, but it's possible to build in such a board. And this one here, this is the graphics card, and this is the LCSPX graphics card. And this is the standard graphic card of the system, so accelerated 2D graphics card, but you can upgrade this graphics card to an SPX-G or SPX-GT graphics card, which are 8-plane 3D or 24-plane 3D graphics cards, but I do not have such graphics card at the moment, but I hope that I can find one of the SPX graphics card, 3D graphics cards, so can upgrade that machine. So, but you can also remove the graphics card without any tools, just with the plastic notches, and then you can lift it up. This is the graphics card, and then you can see more connectors. So the graphics card is connected to that connector, and that connector is the connector only for the LCSPX graphics card. If you have one of the faster graphics cards, it uses this connector here. So this is the connector for the SPX-G or SPX-GT graphics card. Another connector is this one over here. This looks a bit like a reverse SCSI connector, but this is a turbo channel connector. This is one of DEC's turbo channel machines. What is turbo channel? Turbo channel was a computer bus system made by DEC. It was also used in DECstations. DECstations were DEC MIPS systems with the MIPS processor architecture, and also this machine has a turbo channel connector. I do not have any turbo channel hardware. I do not know what you can put inside that machine on a turbo channel, but there is the possibility of using a turbo channel card. So let's talk a bit more about the chips. And the main CPU, the NVAX CPU, is located here down that cooler. And NVAX was the last generation of VAX CPUs. So before NVAX there were Rigel, and before that were CVAX and so on. There were, in that generation there were two successors, NVAX Plus and NVAX Plus Plus, but all in all this is the NVAX family. And this processor over here, this is the DC246 or KA49-A CPU, and it supports the full VAX instruction set plus the vector instructions. So this CPU is capable of vector instructions. It has 74.43 MHz with a 14 nanosecond cycle time, and 2 KB first level cache, 8 KB second level cache, and 256 KB third level cache. Then there is where is it? Is this chip over here? Oh, yes, this is the NCA, the DC240, the DEC processors. DEC had its own. DEC was a manufacturer for chips and also for semiconductors. They had their own factory for that. And DEC chips always starts with DC and something else. And this is called DC243 connector, the NCA, and is connected to two CP buses. And the CP buses are all the peripherals connected, like the serial ports and the Ethernet and the graphics and all that stuff. So it's like a bridge. And something which is connected to that chip is the SCSI controller. This one here. This is an NCR53C94, or the sound chip, which is, I think this is a sound chip, and this is a serial connector, or called QUART, and also QURAT in the manual. Then there is also the Ethernet connector, which is this one over here, and some chips for the graphics and so on. So you need chips to communicate with the graphics card. And then there is another bridge. This is the NMC. This is this one here, and this is goes to the memory. And there are also these two chips. They are called DC7238. There are do some memory stuff, but if you want to it in the details of that board, there is a service manual, and you'll find a lot of details in that service manual, also how what this chips does and so on. So now I will put everything back together and replace that machine with the VAXstation 4000 VLC. So I will remove the VAXstation 4000 VLC from my desk and put this machine on that place, and then we will start the machine. Now the VAXstation 4090 is at the location where the VAXstation 4000 VLC was before. And let's turn it on. Here is the switch. and after a few seconds we will see a color test from the graphics cards. And this Dell P1914S is capable of sync on green, which is necessary. There is a color test, and then we will see here is a processor KA49-A version 1. This is the MAC address, 120 MB of RAM, and now it will make a self-test. I've tried it before after I assembled everything back together, and there was an error. The keyboard won't work, and there was an error indicated that the serial controller did not work, and also the MAU in the back has no power. And then I've disassembled the whole machine again and cleaned everything because I thought maybe something is shortened in the machine from some dust or something like that. But at the end I found out after I took out the power supply and put it back in the chassis, I bended a bit part of the plastic connector, so not of the metal connector, but of the plastic connector, and I think that one of the connectors wasn't connected to the main board, and then there was no power for the serial connection. I was also not able to connect the terminal, but now it should work, and it takes a while, but I can show you the connections at the back. In the meantime, here is my self-made adapter for this DEC style connector, and I've also seen that the connector is damaged on the graphics cards, so I think it wasn't treated very well. I still need a new graphics card because this is a broken connector, physically broken, not electrically. So this is something I will change soon if I'm able to get a good deal on a new graphics card. And then here's connected to that BNC cable here, and it goes just here into the display via VGA. This is the power connector, and this is the MAU, and now it also has power. First test hasn't power because I think it was the same issue like on the serial controller. And down there is the keyboard and the mouse connection, and the network goes here through all that network mess into the DEC repeater 90S in my DEC hub 90, and this is connected with the DEC bridge 90FL via this fiber cable to the main network in the cabinets behind me, and you hear the network noise at the moment. The servers are off at the moment, but the network is running, and this also makes some noise. And now you get the bar. It takes a while, and at the end it makes also a nice little sound where you hear that the test is okay. So let's wait, but I will fast forward the video until the sound appears. That was the sound, and it says okay, and then it tries to boot from the network, but at the moment it cannot boot from the network because there is no boot server running at the moment. Because there's no hard drive inside, I have to boot from the network. So what I will do now is start all my machines, especially start with VAX 4200, add this machine as a satellite to the VMS cluster, and then this machine should boot from the very slow VAX 4200, and we will see DECwindows Motif on OpenVMS 6.1 later. But first I will start everything, and then we'll see if that machine will boot. Now I've added the VAXstation 4090 to the cluster as a satellite on my VAX 4200, and it should boot from that machine. And you can see here, I've pressed the hold button to see the dead sergeant and enter the configuration. You can see the whole configuration, 120 megabyte of RAM, 8-plane model, but is LC SPX. You can see everything is okay. And when we boot the machine now from the EZA, English EZA0, it should boot from the VAX. When it's not booting, I made a mistake with the MAC address. Normally, the booting is quite fast. Yeah, it's booted. And there is a problem with the monitor. This is caused by the cable. Yeah, now it's back. You can see VAX tester loaded node from DBF3 with VAX 4200, and OpenVMS is starting. And let's go over here. Yeah, so you can see the cluster monitor, and these are the 3 nodes, and the new node VXL5. Yeah, it's come up. VMS 6.1. These are the other 3 running nodes. I've started also the AXP 1 and 2, but I did not film the starting process. And as you can see here, new member. And now it wants date and time. Today is the 9th of October, so the problem is now German keyboard and still American setting, October 2025, and it is 3 p.m. and 25 minutes. 26 minutes past 3 p.m. So now it's a member, and because this is the first booting, it will now run autogen and restart a lot of time. So yeah, I will wait until the whole system or DECwindows has come up, and then you will hear me again. Now the machine has booted and we won't see DECwindows. And why we won't see DECwindows? Because I'm stupid, because I forgot the machine needs licenses. And at the moment no license is loaded. It showed me that no license is loaded while it booted. And I need some licenses, so I will add some licenses first, and then I will reboot the machine. And after there are licenses, it would start with DECwindows. And now we see DECwindows Motif. I've just switched the license from the other workstation 4000 VLC to that workstation, because you have to specify the node name in the VMS license, or for the VMS operating system license, and all the other licenses are shared in the cluster. And also here there is the sticker with all the network information of that node, and we should log in, and let's try out to log in with the password, and then we should see a graphical user interface, just a standard X window. Looks like typical X Windows applications of that era. We have here several applications. I've showed the applications in the workstation 4000 VLC video. Now there we see a terminal. And there's nothing more installed at the moment, because this machine here is way faster than the workstation 4000 VLC. I can try out a lot of more applications soon. One application I will try out is DEC Polycenter. This is a suite of software for management of various DEC products, network, and cluster, and so on. And the workstation 4000 VLC was too slow to run Polycenter. And I even want to try out some CAD software, because I have also a graphic tablet for workstations, but I have to solder in a new connector, but I think it's possible. Then I can try the graphic tablet, but I didn't have any CAD software for Mac at the moment. I think there was software called Bravo Draft, but I do not have a copy of it. so I still need to find a copy of a suitable CAD software to try out that. But now I have, you can see this fast VAXstation 4090, and I hope you found it interesting, and you can leave comments down below and like the video and subscribe to the channel and so on, and see you in the next episode.